What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got poker vlog number 3 and we get into a lot of crazy hands. Super excited to show off what goes on in this vlog. We're going back to Fortune Poker. We're giving another crack at the 1-3 game. Super excited to show you guys, but instead of going straight into the hands, here's a little edit for you. So let's get right into it. Before we get started, this is Neil, and Neil is someone I met through making these poker vlogs, and he has something very important to say.
What's up, guys? Make sure you like and subscribe to Jeremy. Very good vlogs.
It's so cool how I'm already able to meet people through the vlogs. I've only made 2 of them, but let's go ahead and start number 3. Looking down from under the gun, we have 9-8 of spades, and we're gonna go ahead and raise to $10, where the cutoff and the small blind are gonna call. 3 ways to a flop, which comes Jack 6-2, 2 hearts. With this board, I have a lot of backdoor draws, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue for 10. Both are going to call, and we're going to see the turn, which is the 10 of hearts. We do improve to an open-ender, but I'm not really stoked about the front door flush getting there, so I'm going to slow down and check. The cutoff's immediately going to lead here for 25, where the small blind's going to fold. It seems like a rather cheap price to go ahead and make the call, but I really was not excited about the front door flush getting there, so I'm just going to go ahead and let this one go. Kind of a tight fold, but within only the first orbit sitting down at this table, I wanted to get a little bit more information and pick a better spot. Here I am with pocket 5s, where I'm going to go ahead and try to see a flop in which we miss. So gonna go ahead and take a small loss there. Looking down at our next hand, we're on the button with a real pretty one. Ooh, ace, king of clubs. Such a pretty sight to see. There's 3 limps to me, and I'm going to go ahead and raise to $20. I'm going to go ahead and pick a sizing a little bit higher than normal just because there was a few limpers. Sadly, everyone's going to fold, but we're at least going to take down our first pot of the day. Coming up next, I have written down in my notes that the player just sat down to my left is a super action player. I've played with him once before, and he likes to get a little bit wild. With that in mind, let's go ahead and get into this next hand. Looking down from the button, we got the ladies. Hello there. With 1 limp to me, I'm going to go ahead and raise it up to 15. The action player in the small blind is going to call, and so is the under the gun limper. We're going 3 ways to a flop, which comes ace 10-7, all spades. This hand gets a little bit weird as I'm sitting there waiting for the small blind to act, and while waiting, the under the gun and the dealer are both looking at me. They were both looking at me, and I hadn't really seen anything, so I made the mistake and checked here even though it wasn't my turn, as I thought it might have been checked to me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The small blind action player now leads out immediately for 110 into a pot of $48. Under the gun doesn't think long before folding, and without the queen of spades, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do here. He could definitely be bluffing, but especially with the ace out there, and I've seen him call down with an ace and a really low kicker, I just wasn't comfortable here, so I actually let it go. Kind of a weird situation where a lot of the times, especially if I had the queen of spades, I probably would be calling, but when he's betting 2x the amount of the pot into 2 other players, I definitely wasn't super comfortable here, so I just let it go. I'm going to go ahead and try to pick a better spot later on. I also know that I definitely made a mistake there and should have at least asked the dealer of whose turn it was instead of just checking without knowing on such a wet and connected board, so just gonna go ahead and know better for next time not to do that. The very next hand in the cutoff, we're looking down at ace jack offsuit. With 3 limps to me, I'm gonna go ahead and raise it up to 15. The under the gun, the hijack, and the low jack are all gonna call, and we're going 4 ways to a flop, which comes 10-9-6 rainbow. It checks to me, but I'm just going to go ahead and check it back as this board hits their range harder than mine. The turn now comes the 5 of clubs. Under the gun now takes the lead and bets out $30. We're just one by one going to go ahead and make the fold here as there's not really much going on. Now it looks like we do have something going on as we pick up ace queen of clubs on the big blind. False alarm though, everyone's going to fold except the small blind is nice enough to run it out for me in case I were to hit a high hand and we miss. I still think it's important to showcase hands like this because a lot of the times when you get premiums, sometimes you just don't have the opportunity to play them. That's just poker and I'm just trying to be as transparent as possible. That's okay though, as we are about to play a huge hand that's written in the title and all over the thumbnail. Looking down from the second best position, the cutoff, we got the best hand, pocket aces. Ooh. In my household, we call these pocket Denny's, as one of our friends always has aces every time we play with him. Under the gun +2 and the low jack are going to limp it on over to me, so I'm going to go ahead and raise to 15. The button action player is going to call. Under the gun +2 is going to fold. And the low jack's going to say some magical words. I couldn't believe it. I completely froze. I was like, I literally have aces and this dude's jamming on me. What a dream. I was tanking only because the player to my left is the action player, so I was hoping he would make the call as well. After Hollywooding for a little while, I go ahead and say,
I call.
out of excitement, I grab all of my chips and throw them right into the middle instead of repopping my phone back up to go ahead and capture some of the action. The button folds and the low jack flips over. Pocket jacks. We are looking good. Going heads up to a flop, it comes 10-4-10, turn being a 6, and a river being a 5. We take home a huge pot. This pot was just under $500, and this is exactly what this session needed. There's nothing more fun than watching the dealer push a huge stack your way. Next up, we got King Jack offsuit, where I'm going to go ahead and raise it up to 10, and everyone's going to fold. So here's just another small takedown. Next up, we got another fun one for y'all, and we got 9-7 offsuit in the big blind. There's 2 limps to the small blind where he's going to complete, and I'm going to go ahead and check. We're going 4 ways to a flop, which comes Queen 9-7 2 clubs. We absolutely smash this board like you should absolutely smash the subscribe button. The small blind checks, and I'm going to go ahead and check as well in hopes that someone takes a stab at it. The low jack takes the bait or has a piece of this board as he goes and bets 10. It folds over to me, and I'm going to go ahead and raise it up to 25. He basically snap calls, and we're going heads up to a turn, which is the 9 of hearts. Such a beautiful card as it boats us up. Even with the best turn coming out, I'm going to keep my foot on the gas and continue to bet for 55. The low jack is going to sit there for a little while, look at his cards, think about what he wants to do, and ends up making the fold. I'm still happy with how I played the hand, as I'm still trying to get used to doing certain check raises when it's not a set or anything of the sort, so still glad to take this home. Would you guys have checked on the turn though? And what happens if he checks back? Would you guys be betting that river, or would you check again and hope he bets and you can go ahead and raise him? On such a wet board, I feel like there's so many draws that he could definitely be on, so I wanted to go ahead and charge the maximum. Here we're in the low jack with ace-5 of hearts. I'm going to go ahead and raise to $10, where the hijack and the small blind are going to call. We're going 3 ways to a flop, which comes King, Queen, 9, 2 hearts. Small blind checks it on over to me, and in this situation, being out of position, you can either check or bet it. Either I think would be good in my opinion, but I'm just going to go ahead and check it on over to the hijack. He's going to check as well, and we're going to go on over to a turn, which is the 10 of spades. I now have a gut shot straight draw that goes with my flush draw, and when the small blind checks on over to me, I'm going to go ahead and bet 15. Both are going to call rather quickly, and we're going to see a river, which is the 9 of spades. Small blind is going to check for the 3rd time. I'm going to go ahead and give up and check, and the hijack is going to check as well. Everyone was super reluctant to show their cards, and because I was the last better, I go ahead and show first, saying I have ace high. The small blind then folds, and I think I might actually be good here until the small blind flips over king, queen offsuit for top 2 on the flop. What? I didn't understand this play, but I guess I lost the minimum. I mean, it sucks I didn't end up getting there with either my straight or my flush, but I don't think he would have folded if I bet on this river. I got another doozy for you guys as it gets wacky, wild, and weird. Looking down from the cutoff, we got Pocket Denny's yet again. There's 2 limps to me, and I'm going to go ahead and raise it up to 15. The button, under the gun, and hijack are all going to call, and we're going 4 ways to a flop. It comes King Jack 2, 2 hearts. Under the gun and the hijack are going to check it on over to me, and I'm going to go ahead and bet 15. I'm going to want to continue to bet here as I want to get value from any King, Jack, straight draw, or flush draw. The button and under the gun are going to make the call, and I get some really weird news when the hijack goes ahead and makes a raise to 45. I have huge alarm bells going off as this was the tightest player at the table by far. I'm sitting here rather calm, as you can see in the video. I really didn't say anything when I was actually at the table. I was in agony though, re-looking at my cards like, do I have aces? What's going on here? I just wasn't really sure what to do. If I had the ace of hearts, I'd probably be making the call as it was such a small raise, but this shows huge strength, especially with this player. I know I'm going to get flamed super hard for this one, but I actually make the fold. It was not easy to do, but at least we're going to go ahead and see a little bit more of the hand as under the gun is going to go ahead and make the call. The turn comes the 7 of hearts and it goes check, check. The river now comes the 4 of diamonds and it goes check, check as well. Oh God, dealer, please give me my cards back. Aces must have been good here until the hijack flips over. King, Jack, offsuit. What a fold! Aces. Never mind, dealer. You can go ahead and keep those aces. Under the gun mucks, and the hijack is going to take down this pot with top 2 pair. I'm just glad my read was right on this player as he was extremely tight and wasn't playing too many hands. All right, the very next hand, we're looking down in the hijack at Jack 10 of clubs. I raise it up to 15. The cutoff's going to call, the button's going to fold, and the small blind is going to raise it up to 45. It folds over to me, and I'm going to go ahead and think about this for a sec, where this is clearly at least a call or a 4-bet situation. However, I might have just been frazzled from the last hand, and I actually ended up making the fold. I don't really know what I was thinking here, as this should at least be a call, or in some cases you could be definitely making a squeeze here with a 4-bet. But yeah, I might have just been thinking about the last hand too much, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I made a terrible fold. So we're just going to go on to the last hand of the session. Looking down in the cutoff, under the gun is going to raise it up to 10. The low jack's going to call, and we're looking down again at Pocket Denny's. It's 3-betting time, so we raised to 50. Sadly, no one's really going to be liking their hand too much, and everyone one by one goes ahead and makes the fold. Still glad to take home the last pot of the night. Just got out of there, had a pretty decent session. I don't think I was playing to my best. It really helped that I had aces 3 times. I know one of them I had to fold them. It was a little tough, but overall, good session. We were in for 300, out for 246. So made a little bit of money here and we're back in the positive. So I think what I'm going to start doing from here on out is my goal right now is I'm going to be trying to build up my bankroll to 10K, and then maybe we can try moving up stakes. So we'll see what we can get with that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.